Chief Minister is talking this week about well, a couple of things, but the new era of public sector employment. This sounds very grand. This is the end of the Whitley Council as such, isn't it? And
yes.
Maybe we should even start with that, because I've never quite gained the, understood exactly what that was all about, why it was called that and so on. And is it a very
well, the Whitley Council structure was a UK structure, actually, which goes back many decades, I think, in its origins. Over the last few years, I think they've pretty well vanished. I think the Isle of Man is the last Whitley Council, which is in effect a manual workers forum for wage negotiations and terms and conditions. Government set up an inquiry into the workings of Whitley Council, I think some 7 or 8 years ago, and the report was extremely critical of the structure, how it functioned, how outdated the whole approach was. It was very adversarial. And the recommendation at the end of that report was the whole thing should be scrapped and a new modern structure put in place. Now that recommendation was fiercely resisted by the unions at that point, and government, for whatever reason, decided not to take it any further. Now, at the outset of my administration, I made it very clear I'm determined that we are going to modernise government, we are going to make it more relevant for the future, and we are going to improve the quality of industrial relations across government to provide better public services, better value for money for the taxpayer, and better working conditions ultimately for our workforce. Now, we started a consultation process back in 2013, I think, on the establishment of a Public Services Commission, which in effect is the amalgamation of Whitley Council with the Civil Service Commission. So we have a single employing authority, which will ultimately coordinate terms and conditions and wage negotiations across about half the workforce. About 4,000 government workers are affected by this. The other half are directly affected by UK terms and conditions, people like teachers and nurses and the like. So about half government workforce will be brought into this new structure.
The difference will be, what, faster sort of reporting?
It'll be more streamlined, it'll be better coordinated, it'll be a single body negotiating. I hope it will be a lot more constructive than it's been in the past. It has been very aggressively adversarial and frankly incredibly petty at times, to the point it was virtually not functioning. Those days are gone. We're not prepared to work with that anymore. We have to have a structure here now which is relevant to the modern Isle of Man and what the Isle of Man and the Isle of Man workforce needs for the next 20 years. And that's what we're trying to achieve. Who's
going to run the Public Service Commission then from your end? I mean, is it a MHK fronted or something like that sort of thing?
It will be chaired by the current Minister of Planning, of Policy and Reform, John Shimon, and he will continue in that role until the next administration is formed.
Fine, so it's a government-fronted thing. You tell them what you want, he goes into there, he negotiates, comes back, reports to the council.
But the unions, of course, have their own membership as well. Unite and Prospect both will be represented on that body. So it's still a joint working body, but it is now a single body instead of the fragmented approach that we've had in the past. So I think it'll be a much more effective way of improving industrial relations and more effective outcomes.
Do people still look to the UK for, if they get a 2% pay rise, then over here wants 2% and so on? Is that, I mean, are you not really basically locked into a lot of...
Well, as I say, a number of our work sectors are bound by UK terms and conditions anyway. The police, teachers, etc. So they obviously follow whatever is awarded in the United Kingdom. There are times when the rest of the workforce does look to the UK for a lead on what wage settlements are, but I think increasingly over the last few years we have had localised agreements, and it is more relevant to what the Isle of Man government can afford these days rather than what's happening elsewhere.
You say the unions weren't very interested or not happy about this. I mean, did they have a choice? I mean, or was it just an ultimatum, this is what's happening?
They were consulted on this. We've had some interesting discussions over the last couple of years to get to this point.
Interesting discussions.
And the position is now that we have passed the legislation. We have now established an appointed day order on the 1st of September, and the new arrangements will be in place from next Tuesday.
And if people don't like it, they can protest in the usual manners, can they?
It's too late now. The system is in place and the structure will start on the 1st of September.